when my book, Oneness versus the 1%, was being released in France. And I wrote the book because 2015 at the climate summit in Paris, Gates was walking around basically instructing the heads of state. And I said, something changed. Something has changed, that heads of state are now errand boys for billionaires. Of course, having worked on globalization with the IFG, worked on my national systems, I kept watch that the first meeting of WTO deregulated trade in information and software. That is where Microsoft made so much money. And the relocation of software to India saved these tech companies $40 billion a year. That's why it's not an accident there's so many Indians in software. Now, every tech giant is headed by an Indian. I know they're bright, but I think it's also to get the big Indian market. Why do I call Bill Gates a Columbus? What was Columbus's role? He thought he was coming to India. That's why he made the mistake of calling all the diversity of indigenous First Nations Indians. And I say Columbus's blunder united us. But basically his instruction from the Pope through the King and Queen was go conquer lands and civilize the barbarians, create colonies. Well, Bill Gates is creating colonies. My book was because I saw he was creating not just recolonizing Africa through the failed Green Revolution, on which I wrote my book, The Violence of the Green Revolution. We know it has devastated the earth, the soil, the state of Punjab, so prosperous, now ruined. Every third, 75% of the youth of Punjab, drug addicts. If I were to take the opiate crisis and the addiction crisis and the way people have had to deal with the multiple crises created by an absolutely anti-nature, anti-people economy. But Gates is then pushing the new GMOs, which have been totally shed aside because of their side effects. One editing of a gene leads to 1,500 changes. But he wants gene editing. He wants gene drives, pushing species to extinction with consciousness. At Paris, geoengineering was a big solution. Well, if we've messed up the climate because of greenhouse gas emissions and emissions from industrial agriculture, which as my book Soil Not Oil shows is 50% of all the greenhouse gases, the food system is 50% of the problem. And a good agriculture system would be 100% of the solution. But Bill Gates is talking of geoengineering, manipulating the entire planet's climate, which to me is a crime. It's a crime against the earth. It is an ecocide. Digital genomic mapping, we've just had another cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. It's not that we didn't have cyclones, but they have increased in velocity and increased in intensity and increased in frequency, beginning with the super cyclone of 1999. Because I had been saving seeds through Navdanya, we had salt-tolerant and flood-tolerant seeds, which we could distribute, multiply, distribute. After every cyclone, agriculture has to bounce back. These seeds are distributed. Bill Gates struts around saying he has helped invent a sub-gene of flood tolerance. All you do is steal it. I call him a new biopirate. That's piracy as part of colonialism. But I think while we look at the past economy and what was wrong with it, I do think each of us needs to be thinking of the future economy these tech giants and the new Columbuses want to create.